being able to project with all of this stuff on. The other is that it's a language-driven show. The best shows for me, I mean, and there are those of you who have other tastes, and that's fine, that's what makes horse races. But for my taste, the best shows are the ones that are language-driven, where you have two people in a room that are trying to work out an issue, duet, or The Wire, or, you know, I mean, those are, I mean, that's television, really, as far as I'm concerned, that's television at its very, very best. And only extremely accomplished and crafted actors can pull that off. So often younger actors will come on who do not have the theater training and who just want to be film or television stars, and they put that stuff on and they die because they don't know how to get through the mask, how to project the character through the mask. And that really is definitely, you know, the trick. And I think that's why you like characters like Odo and Quark and Garrett, because they get through the mask. Yeah. I'll come back to you. I just want to make sure I don't lose anybody back there. Yes, sir, the hat.
Yeah, I was wondering, speaking of all the makeup, there are tales from the original Trek about the anticipation commissary of what are they doing this week. Have you ever gotten that reaction, or conversely, frightening little children at the commissary?
No, we don't go. I refuse. I think somewhere between the original Trek and now, the actors said, we're not going to the commissary and we're going to eat. Guess what you're going to have to do? And the producers got it. They sent us food. Isn't that wonderful?
Do you have a particular favorite episode?
A favorite episode that I have. Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it's very easy. It is The Wire, where Garrett is dealing with addiction and what is it? Endorphins? Is that? Yes, that's right. Endorphins. I have to look at Ms. Hanning here because this woman. There's a woman here, by the way, who's written extraordinary things about Cardassians. Actually, she has been my Cardassian, what we call in the theater, a dramaturg. A dramaturg in the theater is a German expression which someone gives you the context of any given play or any given character, the social, political history of it. And she has done this for me with you have the stuff that you've written on Cardassians is unbelievable. When Garrick was struggling with his addiction to the endorphins from that device that was planted in his brain, and basically what that episode was all about was friendship. And what does friendship mean, and what are the prices that we pay for friendship, and friendship with people that we don't think we could be friends with. It's basically underneath there is a very interracial underpinning to that story. People that you think who are enemies, people that you think are so different that you could never go the 9 yards with them, that you could never care for them enough to help them in times of need. It's an amazing story. Probably in second place is the two-parter that that I did right through. The Die of Past and The Improbable Cause. That was really a lot of fun because it was such a plot-driven. They get 2 episodes were so plot-driven, and you had that intrigue and that crazy midway type of attack and the surprise of I don't know, some of you weren't surprised, but actually I was. You know, when suddenly the Romulan reveals himself as a changeling, I thought, well, that's great. Yeah. So some people said, well, you're so simple-minded, I could sell you a bridge. And they're right. You know, I can be had easily, one drink, you know, you can lie to me, you can steal from me, but I'll still love you, regardless. Ma'am, on the side there, the aisle.
Yes, what is the...
You gotta stand up. Stand up and,
What is your perceptions of Garrick, and what are the writer's perceptions of Garrick?
Well, you see, my perceptions of Garrick come from the writers. The writers lay out the groundwork. It's like the roadmap. And then I fill in the behavior. Because basically that's somebody once, I was directing a play, and one of the actors held the play in his hands like that and said, listen, let's get down to work here, huh? Let's get down to work here. We got to go to work. We got to do actors' work. What, people are going to spend $25 to see that? And he threw the play on the ground. And basically that's right. You don't spend $25 or you don't sit down in front of a television set to watch the script. The script has value, of course. There's no question about it. It's invaluable in terms of guiding you, in terms of where the actor is, where the actor has to go. But the actor has to create the behavior. And that's the life of the character. And the life of the character very specifically being the physical life, how the character behaves, how the character stands, how the character moves. And that very simply is the division of labor there. Very simply. But if you start throwing in behavior and life, physical life, that has nothing to do with the character as it's written, then it gets a little bizarre too. There's a fine line, which is why you have rehearsal. So you rehearse and you find out when you're going over that line and when you're pulling that character apart. Or, because the best kind of acting, ladies and gentlemen, the best kind of acting is the kind of acting that goes right up to that line and takes the line as if there's a membrane coming right up from that line on the floor. And you take that membrane and you push it and you stretch it and you begin to see, ooh, it's beginning to crack there, it's beginning to rip. I'll come back a little here, but maybe over here I can stretch it and crack it. That's exciting acting. And if you have favorite actors, check it out, because I think that's what those actors are probably doing. Yes, back there, ma'am.
Well, since you're all listening, I saw you next to a LA Law with your multiple personality.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, that's one of my, I was just talking about that just before I came on stage. It's one of my favorite episodes. It's an episode where I played 4 characters, including, for the only time in my career, I got a chance to play my mother. I did. It was just sort of like a tribute to my mother. I wish she'd still have been alive when I did it. And it was uncanny, too. I really nailed her. But it's uncanny. The apples don't fall far from the tree, do they? Not at all. Yes, sir. Please stand, yes.
Okay. I had 2 questions, mainly. One, in Hellraiser 2, there's some flashback sequences with you. Were those shot for Hellraiser 2?
No, they weren't. They weren't. Basically, because I hated it. They offered me the script of Hellraiser 2. I hated it so much. I turned it down, and they got their revenge by taking stuff that they cut out of Hellraiser 1 and putting it in Hellraiser 2. And what's your second question?
Did you know Clive Barker prior to getting the job?
No, I didn't. When I went to meet him for the project, that was the first time I'd met him. And I was surprised that such a man with such a twisted, demented imagination, he looked like a choir boy from Liverpool. Extraordinary person. The person way in the back there. What? What inspired me to be Garrett when they hired me? Look, I don't mean to be flip, but that's the truth. They hire you, I'm inspired. Yes, ma'am. Get up, expose yourself, here I am.
Going back, you knew then what you knew now, and everything that was happening with this role.
Oh, one of these questions. Yeah, go ahead.
So, when you took it, Eric, you knew going into the role this is what you'll be doing for probably the rest of your life.
Well, does he know something I don't? No. Well, I don't know about the rest of my life part. I mean, but yeah. I mean, I really remember when I said at the beginning that the best roles, the very best roles, are the ones that just bisect your life like a freeway, man. They just come right through, and this does. This really does. I mean, there's a lot about Garrett that's Andy. You know, I mean. Obviously, I'm not as politically savvy as he is. I mean, I'm not as bizarre as he is. I'm not. Well, we won't go into that because this guy will start asking me about the Dr. Garrett relationship again. But oh yeah, I mean, I love Garrett. You see, the most fun about Gary is that everything he says is a lie. There's a John Updike short story. The first sentence is, "Hello," he lied. That's Gary. So with Gary, you know, you listen to the words, but you sort of like, don't ever let his eyes out of sight. Because if you're just listening to him, he's got you. He's got you. You've got to be looking at him like with all good liars. If you know somebody's a liar, you've got to look that person right in the eyes. Not that you're a liar, sir, but that's fun. For an actor, that's fun to play. It's a pain in the ass if you're dealing with one of those people. Yes, sir?
I saw you leader at
That's right. That's right. Yes, you did. You did. I remember you. On Long Island.
and you talked about, we talked about Gary's different reactions to different characters, how he reacted differently to every character he came and found into the station. Are you looking forward to, as I am, his reaction to war?
You know, Michael Dorn reminded me. We worked together before. Once, Eric Estrada once was injured, and I replaced him on ships. If you know, I mean, I've done a lot of things, folks. I've sold snake oil in Peoria, vacuum cleaners in Phoenix. Man, I've sold ice to Eskimos. I've done everything. Anyway, so Michael and I, we worked, and one day we met each other, and he had a very small role on ships. And he just had started, and they gave him this name, J something. I can't remember what his last name was, J Porter or whatever. And so during the scene, I thought I'm supposed to be relating to these people, and of course, you know,